Hey, what is up, all you classy Vikings out on the YouTube lands? How are you guys doing today? Hope you're having a great day. Today, I'm going to do a quick build video on a Tier 5 bot that I've been using since the Aero Rod update. It was something that I just kind of was messing around with, something that this was like, I'm going to make an Aero Rod cage, super lightweight hover, and see what happens. I didn't really know what to expect. It ended up being, like I thought, very lightweight, and because of that, very fast. And it became kind of just a fun bot to play. Like, there's no arguing that it's tanky or anything like that, but I found that I have a lot of fun just kind of like trying to run circles around rail tanks or plasmas on the ground at least, and even plasmas up in the air. You just kind of outmaneuver them, outrun them. Their speed, they typically don't track you fast enough. They don't lead you well from the sky, and if you're doing circles around someone on the ground, the tracking on their weapons alone just can't typically keep up with you. Now, if they're long range, they can keep up with you a little bit better, but you can kind of use the environment to your advantage and kind of get closer on them and then just outmaneuver them. Obviously, you're going to have issues with SMGs. That's just going to happen. There's always a counter, right? But I'll make no claims that this is a great bot. I just have a lot of fun with it. And we've had a lot of requests in the stream on Twitch to make a video on it. So it's actually really simple. Again, it is just like an Aero Rod cage and just a few blocks to basically connect all that. So it's just about as simple as it can get. It's like, or we're going to start with 10 blocks, and I'm going to use whole blocks here, whole cubes instead of inners. You can use inners. Inners are going to make it a little bit lighter. It's already so light, and I feel like it's lacking tank, so I figured why not get a little bit more health in the blocks and just use the whole cubes. But it's totally up to you what you decide to use on that. Just know that anywhere you see the cubes, you can obviously use inners to make it just go a little bit lighter if you want to try that route out. But it's going to be spaced out from the side, 3 out from the middle line, and then 10 blocks long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect that with Tier 5 Aero Rods, long ones across the whole bottom of the cage. Then we're going to go ahead and put mirror mode back on. Going to build this with a little bit of a hole in it to make some Aero Rods that can connect into the center where your seat's going to be. Basically, the seat is just kind of a floating section of blocks that's connected with Aero Rods out to the outside. The damage reduction should keep it from, for the most part, getting directly hit by anything, but obviously if they hit just right on these center blocks, then they can kind of detach it and take it out. Kind of one of the weaknesses, but it works fine, at least in my experience. And maybe you guys will come up with a better way to take care of that. It's just kind of what I did when I first built it, and I'm sticking with it. These have to be prisms, so they can go around that arch right there. So those go right there. And then right here in the center will be 8 block row of more cubes for the seat. I'm going to go ahead and tag out the middle 2, replace them with prisms, just so they're not connected, just to keep a little bit of disconnect in there, and throw our seat right on that. Okay. From there, we got a bunch of Tier 4 thrusters we're going to go ahead and put in. They're going to be right here, 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 and here, here, and here. Make sure you have mirror mode on. On here, I believe it's one in the front, one right here in the back, one right. Is it up here? Down here? Right down here, I think. Now I'm having a hard time remembering how I did it. Yeah. And then we're going to go ahead and throw our Tier 4 hover blades right here on the 3rd blocks from the front and back. Put another one of these right up here. Alright. Also put one of these right here in the back. We're kind of going to be stacking them a little bit more toward the back as far as the thrusters, because the guns are stacked a little bit more toward the front. Just for a little bit of balance. It's not too much, but the very first time I built this bot, this is kind of a new iteration of it. The very first time I built this bot, it was a little too front heavy. It caused it to flip a lot more when it was going off of small cliffs and stuff like that, and I like to try to prevent that if I can. So that's kind of one of the steps I've taken, is just kind of slightly balancing the thrusters. And also I've maneuvered some of the guns toward the back a little bit. If you watched the stream and you saw my first iteration, all the guns are basically front loaded. Now I have some mounts that go back here a little bit, and you'll see those in a second. So to finish off the Aero Rod cage, we're going to grab the curved, and we're going to put mirror mode back on. I keep turning it off to do these ones in the center because they won't get put on if it thinks it's trying to mirror one to each side, because they connect to both sides. And then every one of these blocks across the side meets up here and makes the top layer of blocks right here. Just connects them basically. Oops, that was right. Okay. And then we'll put a couple more thrusters right there in the center. That's all of our thrusters. Now we're going to go ahead and get our gun mounts on and we'll be done. Like I said, it's a pretty simple bot. Our guns are going to go, let's see, tier 5. I'm going to put one block in here so that it has one more buffer to get through before it gets hit. Right in the center here, same kind of reasoning. Then we're going to take some prisms right here, kind of build around this thruster and make a mount right there. That goes there. Then we're going to grab some curved, put those right here, put guns on that. And then to finish it off, we throw on some tier 5 electroplates to cover it up on the side, right between the thruster points on every thruster point right between those. And there it is. That is the completed tier 5 super fast light hover. And what I love the most about this bot is that, like, it gets super fast when it's overclocked. If you play it in a battle mode, overclock, and as you get overclock like 10 plus, it's kind of just stupid fast. And even when you start at overclock 4, you'll find that in a classic match, you'll find that it's very fast. This is overclock 1, and it's already going much faster than you're used to, I imagine, with hovers since the hovers got changed in the new meta. Or at least this is maybe what you're used to after you get a few overclock levels in you. As it overclocks up, it just gets faster and faster and faster. Sometimes it gets a little hard to control, and it used to be worse balanced. The balance is a little bit better now. You can go off of cliffs and stuff pretty stably. And yeah, it's going to wobble and stuff. Where you're going to start running into, especially if you start losing hovers and stuff, is you'll run into situations where, as you start kind of getting pointed upward because it's so light, and it's actually not going to do it here, but you can start getting a little crazy. Here we go. It'll just start flying up in the air. And you can actually, even when you're like mostly dead, you can kind of control it and do some weird stuff with it. Because it is so light, it has so many thrusters. But it does tend to want to land upright, and because of the shape of it and everything. And once it gets overclocked, it is really fast. And you can kind of just, what I typically do is I play it like this, where I just kind of strafe around people, just kind of outmaneuver their weaponry. Goodness, I can't hit that apparently. There you go. That's overclock 4. This is what it's going to start off like in a classic match, which I think is pretty fast for a classic match. Sorry, a little hiccup there. And again, you know, long range, like on a map like this, wide open, it's going to be a little bit harder. This is probably the hardest map for me. But when you get other ones where you can kind of get in close range and just kind of circle around them as much as you can, just outmaneuver them, it tends to work pretty well. I hope you guys enjoy this bot. This bot, again, is not great. It is not tanky, but it is super fast. It is fun to play. And if you get used to playing it, you'll have some good games with it for sure. And again, it was really highly requested. People seem to like it. They like the way it plays. It's different than the average bot, especially after the new meta. Having something that's super lightweight and has no blocks is just basically frowned upon right now. So at least this is kind of like a speed tank, if you will. If anyone plays any EVE Online or something like that, it's like speed tanky. I enjoy it. I hope you guys do too. Thank you for checking out the video. Please, you know, like and subscribe and all that other stuff. Check out, I only have one other video I've ever done, and it's now outdated because the patch broke it. But definitely check it out, and check out any new videos to come. And if you haven't already seen me on Twitch, please come check it out on Twitch. Check me out on Twitch, I mean. I am a Twitch streamer. That's what I primarily do. The YouTube thing is, you know, me trying to put up some hot content for the viewers to see some of the builds and things like that. So if you're finding this by way of Twitch or YouTube and you've never heard of me on Twitch, please check me out, twitch.tv/classy_Viking. The link will be down in the description. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day as always. Stay classy, people. Bye.